The following program is a Nighthawk Network presentation.
Let's try that again. What's going on, good people? Your boy E-Buck the Nighthawk in the building, ready to talk to y'all on the show that we call the I Am Nighthawk Pod Show. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you, whether you're checking this out live or in a broadcast later on down the line in that thing we call the future. We appreciate you listening, and any comments or regards of sort you can add to the present comments, or you can, of course, hit us up on eBuck. Hit us up at Eric Buckner on my Facebook page. You can hit up my Instagram. You can also hit us up on the YouTube, where you should be catching this live as well, on Eric Buckner, Nighthawk Network, Detroit. Post your comments. We will get back to you when we can. Appreciate you. That being said, good people, we are here to talk to y'all this evening about the things that I think about while many of you are asleep, as in literally sleep in your bed. Sometimes I'm up at night thinking about these things. And what I've been thinking about this particular episode is that thing that we have come to know as Doge. For those of you not familiar with the acronym, Doge is the AKA of the Department of Government Efficiency that was started by the current president, 4547 himself, to help rid of greedy government practices and misuse of government funds and such. And I understand on the surface, it's a wonderful thing to want to rid us of all the bad money that our government is spending, our hard-earned tax money, on foolishness that we do not need. But is it doing what it's supposed to do? We'll get into that a little bit. But first of all, for those who are still a little confused as to what this department is supposed to do, let me give you the definition according to my good buddy CP, also known as the Google co-pilot. I asked him this, and he said the following. He says, as I read, the Department of Government Efficiency is not officially recognized entity within the United States government. Remember that part. However, the term generally refers to a department of initiative aimed at improving the efficiency of government operations, reducing waste, streamlining processes, and promoting transparency. Such efforts are often undertaken to ensure public funds are utilized effectively and government agency functions optimally. Some governments or organizations implement efficiency programs. Remember this part as well. Or create specialized offices to achieve these goals. For example, a government might have an Office of Management and Budget or similar administrative bodies to oversee performance and budget efficiency. So that, in a nutshell, is Doge and what it's supposed to be doing. Now, let's talk about what we have seen thus far, as we do have someone in the comments. It's our good buddy, Ro. What's going on, Ro? Appreciate you tuning in while we acknowledge Ro, because we always got to acknowledge Ro, because Ro always acknowledges us, okay? Let me take a quick break in the show to acknowledge Rose. I do believe I have this on deck for you this week, Rose. For those of you who've been wanting to find her and have not been able to find the Rose Star Radio, fear not, Rose is still out here in the streets doing this show here called Speaking Freely with Miss Giggle. Speaking Freely with Miss Giggle, the podcast, you can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcast as well. Talking about many different topics, some of a creative nature, some of a current events type feel. Either way, I think you will enjoy it. And please make sure you leave comments when you listen. That is always helpful, not in terms of just acknowledging that you saw the pod or listened to the podcast, but also to know what you might like to talk about in future episodes. She appreciates that, me as well, because I also have a mini podcast of my own entitled Listen to Your Uncle E. This is the latest episode called Ain't No Doggone Bunny. What is that about? Well, you have to check it out on Spotify and listen for yourself. Again, that's Listen to Your Uncle E. You find that podcast on Spotify. Okay, back to the show. We're talking about DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. Let me make a little banner so we can remember what we talking, okay? Because, sometimes we got to do our little production thing on the fly here on the show because we're doing two things at once. We hosting and we producing, okay? Let me type that in for us and we will continue. Department of Government. I hope I spelled that correctly. If not, forgive me, y'all. All right, here we go. This is what we're talking. Department of Government Efficiency. Okay, so here it is, people. We got this thing. Doge has come in, and of course, it's been run by the one and the only, the richest man on the planet, one Elon Musk. His job is to do these things to help out the United States in the permission of the president, okay? Now, it's been, a couple months now. He has knocked out several agencies. And when I say knocked them out, I mean he didn't went in there like, okay, we don't need all of this. We don't need all of that. We don't need none of this. Let them go, fight, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. Now, understand, we have all these government agencies for a reason. We can't just up out the blue be like, okay, we want an agency and it's going to do this, this, and this. And we just create it and don't nobody check off on it and all that. That's part of what Congress is for. That's part of what the executive branch for. Like, okay, well, we do see a need for this. Let's do that. Now, the executive branch in this case is saying we don't need this. We don't have a need for that. Let's get rid of it now. So we have Elon and his people come in. They type in a few things, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's about 600,000 people work for this agency. We need it to be about 40,000. These other 460,000 people, we can get rid of them right now. Hold up. Now, I always like to kind of relate these things to everyday life and whatnot, okay? Now, understand, sometimes you may go in your local fast food establishment, okay? You may be one of 3 people in line. You sit there and you look in the back and you see there's the fry station, the burger station, the drink station, the carry out, so on and so forth. Now, when you go in at that moment, you see, okay, ain't but 3 people in here. It's just basically the cashier and the burger maker and somebody doing the fries, okay? And they all doing their thing. You out good, fast, in a hurry. No problem. Everything working as it should. Now, some people will go in and say, if they can do all that with 3 people and everything was all right, seems like they could do that all the time. They don't need all these extra people. For what? They don't do nothing. But understand, sometimes when you go to that same restaurant, you are one of 25 people in line. Now, can you run that same restaurant efficiently with the same 3 people when there's 25 people in line ready to go, ready to eat right now? You know the answer to that. Nope. It's going to be problems. Stuff going to come out slow and out of hand and incorrect and all of that, okay? That's part of the issue here, people. That we go into this agency and saying, right now, from where I'm sitting, it don't like we need this many people. We getting rid of them right now without asking the proper questions or figuring out what this person actually does, why they are actually needed. At a lot of jobs, the person that is working is probably not needed every single moment of every single day. Their job may be specific in that, okay, we just need you on the weekend, but during the week we can have you do. Or we may just need you at night, but during the day, boom, 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 boom. You see what I'm saying? So I think when they went into these things, looking at it from that standpoint, okay, get rid of everybody that seemed extra. You got to understand why some jobs have extra. All right. And as the weeks have gone on, I think they have discovered when they let go of some of these folks, like, oh, that's why we need them. Yeah, you come on back. We didn't mean to get rid of you. My bad. My bad. And in other cases, it was like, okay, I see we don't need you at the moment, but we definitely gonna need you then. Yeah, go ahead and get your job back. Now that's part of the issue. The other part is we have checks and balances here in this place we call America. So yeah, if you thought you were just gonna go in and just fire a whole bunch of people and it was just gonna be cool because 45, 47 said so, and him the big boss, not so fast on me. We got these things called law and this thing called the court. And I don't know about you, but if you just gonna up and fire me, I ain't just gonna sit there and take it. And I know I got means to fight it. Yeah, I'm taking you to court, buddy. Get my job. Get my job back right now. I ain't do nothing wrong. I've been doing my job and I've been doing it well for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I got bills to pay. I got kids to feed. I got stuff to do with this money. Y'all can't be playing with me like this here. So they have gone and taken these things to court, and in some cases, it's like, let's look at this, let's look at that. We'll figure it out later. Get back to you. In some cases, it's like, oh, but no, the people are absolutely right. You can't do that. Stop that. That was wrong. Give these people their job back right freaking now. And in other cases, it was like, well, I see what you were saying, but the way the law set up, I don't see it that way. So yeah, you're going to have to not do that. And of course, the way our court is set up in some cases, yeah, I'm the judge in Okie Alabama, pick a state, okay? And because I'm the judge and I said you can't do that for these people, that accounts for everybody. So at the moment, there is a court order that says, yeah, you've been letting all these people go without the explanation that's necessary. Yeah, y'all can't do that no more right now. Y'all going to time out on that, okay? We need to review this. You can't just up and fire these people. Yeah, we ain't playing that. Now, of course, 45, 47, he not happy with these decisions because he had Elon come do a job. Get rid of it, cut it. And now you hindering him from the job. Elon got other things to do. Keep in mind, being the richest man in the world ain't necessarily the easiest job in the world, okay? I understand you sitting there like, man, I only make such and such and such and such. This dude that lost $100 billion with this Tesla stock thing and still the richest man in the world, and it ain't even close. He all right, and he'll be all right. He got these kids out here. He work business. He basically sit on his butt and make $20 billion. He's good. I'm out here struggling. It's me. I get it. Understood. But again, remember what affects you not today may affect you tomorrow, okay? Understand, with all these people losing their jobs, some people, they got skills like that. They can get right back on their feet, no problem. Boom, 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 they're right back in the building. Other people, they don't work there all their life. This is all they freaking know. If they don't have this job, they not set up to have no job. Which means what? Yeah, let me call the unemployment office and get my unemployment. Who pays for unemployment? Me, taxpayer A, you, taxpayer B, and so on and so forth. Understand, the billionaires, the way the tax codes are set up, where they don't hardly pay taxes at all, if at all, they're not really paying for unemployment like that. So it don't really affect them as much as you would think. But for us, the taxpayers is already paying out their taxes and then some, make up for the people that ain't paying none. Now we got to pay extra because you done spied every other body. For whatever reason, government efficiency, no need for DEI, no need for gender equality, all us and all that. Come on now. You're setting us up to fail. Now, people, this is the part of the show where we tell you, if you had 45, 47 with your vote, and now you find yourself without a job, how does it feel? How does it feel? You set yourself up to lose. Yes, you did. Right now, you can't really blame nobody but your doggone self. Because we, on the other side of it, who didn't approve that message, tried to tell you, are you sure that's what you want? You sure you want dude to be in charge again? He feels some type of way. He a little salty. He gonna take it out on somebody, and lo and behold, sucky now. He done took it out on you. Again, how does it feel? How does it feel right now? I think you're feeling a little salty myself. If you're not, you should be. Now, I know some of y'all saying, man, Elon doing a good thing. The government is full of extra expenditures and waste and bull. We know this. We all said it all the time. The government spending my money on some stuff I don't want them to be spending it on. All this money they're giving to certain countries for certain stuff, where they could be using that same money, my taxpayer money, here in America for stuff that we need done for our homeless people, for our jobless people, for our people that need housing, so on and so forth. I not only feel that message, I approve that part of the message. But what I'm saying, good people, is that even though it's meant to be a good thing, and can be a good thing to a degree if properly done. Because keep in mind, this is not the first time a president has sat down and say, look, we need to make this a bit more efficient. Let's figure this thing out. I ask you to do your research and look at the Clinton administration and what they did in terms of figuring out government efficiency. There was such a thing back then. They did it a way different way that they're doing it now. And to some degree, it did work. To some degree, it didn't. Understand, because Clinton was Clinton, and we got to be focused more on what happened at the White House in the Oval Office with that girl Monica, as opposed to what he actually did for government himself. What was going on with him? Yeah, we tend to forget that type of stuff. Let me take a time out, take a sip. Needed that. Okay, now back to this government efficiency thing. Okay. Eventually, these things are going to get worked out in court, and it's going to be decided. I'm thinking that some of the stuff you did, Elon, bad, Elon. You can't do that. You ain't got the power. 45, 47 don't have the power. Congress has that power. You better talk to them. And then they're going to go to Congress, and some of that stuff that they did, Congress is going to go on ahead and make it work, okay? Some of the stuff they did, yeah, you ain't getting away with that. It's just temporary, and eventually these people will get back on the job. I know some of them just waiting on that. Some of them, hopefully, it's just a nice little vacay until you can get back situated. I hope that's the case for y'all, because some of y'all lost your job and you shouldn't have, particularly those people that have been our country's protectors. In other words, the veterans. Because keep in mind, several people in government jobs are former military people who had decided that they want to serve their country in a different way. So they took on a government agency job. And now you done did them dirt. I've said it before. I will say it again on air. Anybody who was brave enough to say, yeah, I'll stand up. I'll take that weapon. I'll defend us to the bitter end. When they come back from their time served, they should be set for life here in America. In other words, should not ever have to worry about a job, Medicare, life insurance, car insurance, car, education, housing, none of that. They should be set. It shouldn't even be an issue. It should be an automatic. And keep in mind, I am not one of those people, but I do love and care for several people who are. And I want them looked out for properly. Government people understand if you have done these people wrong, you wrong. Flat. Flat out. It's a wrong. It's a no for me, dog. Government efficiency thing, good idea, badly, poorly, terribly executed. Along with several other things that our current government is trying to get done. And let me say this for the record. Canada, I love y'all. I love y'all to death. Some of my favorite people on earth are presently living in the country of Canada. Shout out to my Canadian peoples. Y'all know who y'all is. I love you. And I know y'all love too. That being said, we didn't approve. Well, I can't say we. I don't approve this message. Trying to make y'all the 51st state and take your stuff over and all that. All that, no. 45, 47, you tripping. And the fact that you continue to put that narrative out here, you wrong, brother. You wrong. Okay? This and several other things you're doing I don't approve of. Okay? Vast majority of the country, when it looks to the job approval of said individual, negative, under 40%. I know you'll look at the one or two polls that say different and you'll take them as gospel. But in the end, I think the majority of the polls say the same and the majority of the polls is right. Economy's supposed to be better from day one. Eggs still $5, $6 a box. Come on now. What you doing? Gas down maybe 15, 20 cents? Stock market going down. Stocks down about 20%, but damn it. Ain't got but like few stocks. About $5 worth really. Bottom line, they going down. And it's a bad deal. People always quick point out, yeah, I was doing good when so-and-so was in charge. How about now? How about now? Because I know right now at the moment, it's looking a little shaky. It's looking a little shaky. But yeah, that is Department of Government Efficiency and what they're supposed to be doing. Again, this is a narrative that is very fluid and liquid. We're going to see how it go. All these court cases pending and whatnot in the weeks and months to come. We will see where we get with this. But going back to the basic premise of itself, Department of Government Efficiency, again, back to the definition. It is supposed to improve the efficiency of government operations, reduce waste, and streamline processes. Okay? Now, that ain't necessarily happening with the government, but I thought, how could we apply the Doge concept to our personal lives and well-being? Because I think it's something for many of us that could work if properly done. E-Buck, what you talking about, brother? Well, we'll get to that part of the story after I do a couple commercials. Understand it is Women's Empowerment Month. That's what I'm calling it. So for all my ladies in the Nighthawk Network, shout out to you, particularly those of you who are entrepreneurs and business owners. By all means, take the opportunity in the comments to promote your small business or your funds or whatever you got going so other people may patronize and follow you and partake of your goods and services. That is what we will honor this month here on the Nighthawk Network. There are a few you I need to get in contact with so I can get the information, at least permission to post your information so people can catch up with you. In the meanwhile, I do got a couple folks that we can talk about here, and we'll play the commercial. And when we come back, we're going to talk about how we can take the Doge concept and apply it to our personal well-being. This is I Am Nighthawk. I am Nighthawk, E-Buck himself. Be back, y'all.
Hold up.
Nighthawk Network presents Pastor Sean Love. Pastor Sean Love, devoted father and husband, a residing pastor at the River Rouge Bible Assembly in River Rouge, Michigan. Join him as he gives us messages from God's Word, Bible study, and encouragement. You can find him on YouTube under Sean Love.
Looking for the ultimate throwback experience? Tune into Nighthawk Network Radio. Imagine jamming to classic hits and the best B-sides from your favorite artists, yes, those hidden gems you forgot you loved. We're serving up a variety of genres that'll have you singing along, from smooth R&B to those hilarious comedy bits that'll make you chuckle during your commute. Whether you're cruising down the road or relaxing at home, we've got the perfect soundtrack for you. It's like a nostalgia trip with every song. Trust me, you'll find yourself reminiscing about the good old days, right? So, why not give it a listen? Click the link to join the Nighthawk family and rediscover the music that shaped your life. You won't want to miss out.
What's going on, people? We are back. This is I Am Nighthawk Pod Show. I'm your host, E-Buck, the Nighthawk himself. We were talking about the Department of Government Efficiency, and though we still have the jury out on that one, but for the most part, it's a thumbs down for me, dog. We did see where we could possibly take the concept of that and use it in my personal life. So I actually sat down and had a meeting with the CEO of my life and myself, in other words, the good Lord and Ebuck. And we said, yeah, what can we do, Doge style, to kind of streamline what we got going on here and make things run a little bit better? Because right now, things is a little messy. Sometimes a lot of messy. Understand, I was at a point late in 2022 where I was on the verge of utter bankruptcy and homelessness, okay? That's real talk, all right? That year we had a point where hot water tank was busted, had no heat and such and all of that. It was getting real ugly up in here, okay? Mom died soon after that, had major health problems in 2023. Y'all know the story. We ain't gonna rehatch all that. Let's just say right now, we doing better. We'll have to see what the doctors say, but for the most part, there is some improvement on that front. Problem is, of course, we are still struggling with young bills. Okay, we working every day. When I say every day, I work pretty much every day. Some days not along others, but definitely every day. Problem is that yeah, we got some things. We got a little bit to eat. We got enough to get by for the moment, but that's what we got. We got to do better, okay? Understand. Part of the problem is the problem that many of us, particularly people that look like me, is colored like me, have. The vast majority of the 43 million plus African Americans here in this country do not make the average that most people in the country is supposed to be making. In other words, the median salary for our United States right now. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask it live so we get an accurate amount. Okay. Going to my dude CP, the Google Copilot. Let's see if we can get a straight up answer right now. Okay.
Hey, E, how's your evening going?
It's going good, CP. All right. We need to know the median income of your average person in the United States. The median income of the average person in the United States, CP, what you got? All right. Did not get an answer for that one. All right, hold on. You know, using this AI could be interesting at times. All right, let's just type it out and see what it says. We'll do it that way. Median income of person in the United States. I forgot we are also on radio. We got this dead air going because I'm not talking, I'm typing. My bad, y'all. All right, here we go. It says the median personal income in the United States for 2023, which is the last year that we got numbers for, was approximately 42,220. This figure represents the midpoint of income distribution, meaning half of the population earns less and half earns more. And understand, like I said, the majority, I would say, out of the 43 million African Americans in this country, 37 million of that, I know that's a big number, and that's at least 85%, but that's about right, make 42,000 or less. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy work. But then understand, we talking about a country of 360 million plus people, and if 42,000 is the line, that means 18 million. No, correction. 180 million do not. I repeat, do not make 42,220. They make less than that. And that would mean 180 million make more than that. Now, truthfully, I think it don't really figure out that way. Remember, we taking everybody's numbers combined. I would really say 200 million plus make about that or slightly less. And then the other 100 something make more, okay? And out of those 100 something, how many of those people are Caucasian as opposed to African American or Hispanic or Asian, so on and so forth? Where is this music coming from? I have no idea. That was weird. That was really weird. Anyway, moving on. Like I said, the vast majority of us ain't making 42,000. Okay, now understand. I did make that last year. I made probably 3,000-4,000 more than that. But because I was in the financial debt that I currently am and is, didn't feel like it. Don't feel like it. Need for it to feel like it more. Understand the vast majority of us in the United States are in billions upon billions of dollars of personal debt. We ain't even talking about the country itself. I'm talking about us, basic person A. You add up all our debts, it comes out to hundreds of billions of dollars, credit card and medical debts and such, okay? I am one of many, many, many. If you are one of those fortunate people that don't have no current debt whatsoever, congratulations. I wish it would have been me, but it ain't. And most of us had that story to tell. Now, that being said, tired of the done. We got to do something. We can't live like this because we can't live without this in some cases, okay? So we need to figure out what is it we can't live without and what is it we can live with and what is it we just don't need. That's where our Doge department here in the Nighthawk Network Studios have taken place, okay? So what do we need? What don't we need? What we can kind of use and what we don't need, okay? So I sat down and over the last several days, I've been figuring that out in real time, okay? And I've come to certain conclusions. Okay, now, understand, me, myself, I'm not a person of extravagance to that degree. I don't require a lot of extra beautiful stuff. Most of my clothes are $20 and less. That's just real talk. I know that might be revealing too much TMI and all that. But that's how I live me. That's how I do me, okay? And I'm comfortable with that. Understand I'm solo dolo and all of that. So that comes into play. But all in all, I don't have a lot of extravagant expenses, okay? I don't have a lot of what I would call habits. Understand, in your Doge department, the first thing I would have them look at for any of you is your habits. In other words, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all be smoking that? How much you pay for that smoke? How much you pay for that vape? How often do you pay for those things? Okay, how much do it cost? Add it up. Break the calculator out, pen, paste, or whatever you got to do. Add it up. I talked to somebody the other day because keep in mind, thank God I don't know no more how much cigarettes cost. I used to have to know because my mom smoked for many, many, many years, and guess who was going to get them? E. Anyway, somebody told me they paid about $9 for box cigarette. In other words, not carton, but a box cigarette, $9. Now understand, this show is being broadcast in 29 different states and 3 countries. Shout out to Canada and our people over there in the motherland. It catches us in Nigeria. We appreciate y'all. Different prices in different places. Okay, I can imagine if they $9 here in my state of Michigan, in my place known as the D, then in certain places across the country, they probably $12, $14 a box. And some of y'all just smoke a few of them a day, no biggie. Some of y'all smoke a box a day. $12. Okay, let's do the quick math. Let's just say $10. $10 a box. 7 days a week. $70, okay? 30 days in a month. So let's see. Do 70 times 4. That's 280. Plus another 2 days. That's $300. $300 a month times 12 months. That's $3,600 a year. Just on cigarette. Now, I don't know about your world, but if I had $3,600 of expendable income for cigarettes, that much money pretty much pays all my household bills, the phone bill, and pretty much anything else. Now, of course, we're talking about a month. But $3,600 a year, you could do quite a bit with that instead. And that's just for the cigarettes. Okay, let's just say you're a person that not only do the cigarettes, but you're doing the drink. And Lord knows, depending on what you drink, that could be $5, $20. Understand what I'm saying? Long story short, it adds up real quick. And if you are spending, let's just say 25% of your income on your habits, and then the rest is left for the bills and whatnot, you already see what your department of government officially need to do right now. You need to work on that part. Okay, let's just say you ain't really got the habits, but you like to get your grub on. Or you got a house full of folks that's always eating. Yum, 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 yum. Okay? Next thing you want to look at is that grocery bill. What that grocery bill looking like? Now, if you're fortunate enough to get the government officials to SNAP and all that, that come into play. Not so much. If you don't have that and you paying out of pocket, and y'all like to eat the bacon and the big burger and the steaks and the lobster tails and all that, yeah, have your department of government officially, your Doge, check that out. See what that's looking like. Again, if that's 20% of your income for food, that's a bit much. That's a bit much. Okay, then of course we got all the other stuff to throw in the mix. You know, stuff like, okay, if you one of them people that every year we got to have a TV, we got to have a new this and that. Okay, let's rewind for a minute, because not only is this the perfect time to do your Doge, particularly because it's that time for a lot of y'all. Y'all know what time I'm talking about. This is right around the time when most people get their money back from that thing called the taxes, okay? Understand, some of y'all had to get that money as soon as you could. And y'all went and took the loan like they said, yeah, get your money back today, blah, 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 blah. People stop doing that. Understand how much money that's really cost. I mean, I understand that's not money in your pocket at that moment. But if you really sit down and look at them papers and find out how much that loan really cost you, when you could have got that money a few weeks later and had that money in your pockets instead, think about that for a minute. Some of y'all really need to look at that. Y'all literally costing yourself hundreds and thousands of bucks because you got to have that tax money right now. And now, if you had to really, really have it right now, it was life and death. Godspeed, I understand. But if it was just because you had to spend it, you got to have it. You couldn't wait to splurge with it. Couldn't wait to get your boogie on with it. Yeah, problems, okay? If basically you in your house and every TV you got is all new again and you throw out the old TVs because every year you got to get the new one because the tax money, talk to your Doge people. You did it wrong, okay? Not to mention the fact that most people that got the big money was because you had kids and whatnot. If you got several kids at that crib and that tax money came and you ain't look out for them kids, the people that got you the big money, if you ain't look out for them, I ain't talking about just buy them a pair of shoes or a couple of outfits. I'm talking about looked out. Some of y'all got 10, 20,000, okay? I know it. If them kids only got a couple hundred of that money and you splurge the rest on you selfish some of them. You know what I'm saying. Now, then, of course, that's that whole argument about, okay, well, daddy should get something. I'm going to put this out here like this, people. Okay, here's my thing. If the father of those kids is not the custodial parent, which is basically the parent that raises them in the actual household, they just basically come through, do what they do. And when I say do what they do, I mean actually contribute to the child's well-being with the cash money and their time and whatnot. If they do that and they don't claim the kids and the mama claim the kids when the tax money come, I do feel they are entitled to some little bit, okay? Keyword is some, and I base that on what they representation is and how much they actually did. Y'all got to sit down as a family, figure that one out. If you basically deadbeat daddy, hey, and them kids only see you a few months a year, and you pop in on them when you have a little change, throw a couple dollars, and most of the time they're like, hey, big head, not that they love you, and they don't see you for another 60, 90 days. But then all of a sudden tax time come around, you want to come be friendly with mama again, because you know she about to get broke off, and you come talking about where my half. Negro, please. Punk, please. Sucker, please. No. You wrong. You wronged in a mud. And if you give him that money because he done broke you off the proper P or whatever, stupid. Dumb. Especially if he using the money to do stuff like cop this stuff and flip this and donut head. You done went through all that and worked hard and got all that money back. You and the kids and you done get half the daddy and half daddy out here blown at the casino and whatnot. Dummy. But I digress. Back to the conversation. Let us sit down, good people, as I am doing. Look at our life and our expenditures. See what we truly need. See what we don't need. Work on what we can cut to make it better. Okay? Now understand, unlike the government who seem to want to do all this at once, it should take some time to do these things. It's not a thing you sit down and the next day you got it all figured out. I've been working on this for a couple weeks now. I still got a lot to do. I'm looking at the household and as a single person, what I actually need up in here and what I don't. I'm looking at each room in the house, what we need to improve such things, what we don't need. What's some of these clothes that I'm wearing? Am I going to wear them often? Am I going to wear them at all? Can I still fit them? Do I foresee a way where I can get back into them? You know, all these types of things. You have to slowly sit down and figure out. Now, in an ideal world, I say you go ahead and you grab you one of these $1.09 things from the dollar store. This thing called Notebook. Let me see. Can we see that? Yeah, Notebook. Right on there. House efficiency plan. And get to figure some stuff out and doing some numbers and all of that and see what you get. Okay? Take your time. It's going to take time. It's not something you figure out overnight. It's not something that's going to take just a day or two or a week or two. But I do believe, if you take the time out to actually do this thing and figure it out, that you will come to the conclusion, yeah, some of this stuff we could do a little better. We could utilize a little better. We could save us some money here and there so that we can be on the good side. On the good side is where you have some money in your bank account, where you actually set up, as many of us are not in this country, where if we have any type of emergency right now, we can contend with it with some money. Because remember, that's the key element. If you are a household and you have an emergency that costs somewhere between $1,000 or less, are you set up to contend with that right now? I can tell you my answer: nope, I am not. But hopefully, if my Doge department is on their job and we do this thing by the end of physical 2025, I can be. That is my goal. 2 goals: get under 300 pounds, working on that one, and get to where we have $1,000 of emergency money. Those 2 things, somewhere in the land of either of them, is sufficient. So if we get down to 305 and 500, okay. Get down to 295 and 800, even better. If we do it, we do it. And then I say every year about this time, around about March 1st or so, let's go back and revisit and see where we got and see what we can do. Because in the end, remember, in an ideal world, if you are you and you're trying to be here for the foreseeable future, you're going to get to a point where you get too old to work. So you're going to have to figure out how to work on a fixed budget. If you start working with a fixed budget right now, by the time you get to your 68 year, you're ready. You've been doing this for years. You're good to go. You got yourself set up to win. So start out by winning now. Let's see what we can do in our own departments of efficiency to get to a better place in our financial situations, in our life situations, so that when we get older, Lord willing, we are in a better place. Okay? That part there. I'm going to do another quick commercial break. When we come back, some final thoughts on this show called I Am Nighthawk, because I love y'all.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comforts together because it's time to dish tea. And your dish is darlings. With Big Meat.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat.
Dog.
Looking for the ultimate throwback experience? Tune into Nighthawk Network Radio. Imagine jamming to classic hits and the best B-sides from your favorite artists, yes, those hidden gems you forgot you loved. We're serving up a variety of genres that'll have you singing along, from smooth R&B to those hilarious comedy bits that'll make you chuckle during your commute. Whether you're cruising down the road or relaxing at home, we've got the perfect soundtrack for you. It's like a nostalgia trip with every song. Trust me, you'll find yourself reminiscing about the good old days, right? So, why not give it a listen? Click the link to join the Nighthawk family and rediscover the music that shaped your life. You won't want to miss out.
What up, y'all? We back. I am Nighthawk, E-Buck in the building, talking to y'all about government efficiency and life efficiency. By the way, I think it's an excellent project to do with your children as well. Get them started on the path early on of setting in their life in a pattern to where they can control their narrative early on. One of the most important things we need to do in terms of educating our young people is to let them know how real life actually works. The sooner you can do that in this crazy world the way it's set up now, the better it is for them in the long run. Sit their booties down, tell them, put down the TikTok and pick up this pen and paper and let me show you how these bills work. Let me show you what you're going to need to do to get set up for an apartment or a crib or to buy a car or set up a bank account. Those things. If we have that knowledge as people, let us share that with our young folks early on. So by the time they get 18 and 19, they know what it is. And they're not out here trying to figure it out like many of us had to do. That part there. Okay. Also, again, this is Women Empowerment Month, as I'm calling it. Basically National Women's Month, but women empowerment, because we need to empower the women in our lives to do what they need to do to be great. Because a lot of y'all doing y'all thing, okay? You are doing great things out here, including people that are running a household, because you don't have to be a person with a cape and S on your chest to be a superhero. A lot of superheroes out here, also known as mom, okay? Let us give you your flowers now. Let us not wait till Mother's Day. Let's let you know right now. We love you. Thank you for doing you. Those of you who are teaching our children and doing a great job doing so, let us acknowledge you, as most of our teachers are people who are female. We appreciate you. Thank you for teaching them knuckleheads what they need to do to get their life together. And some of y'all doing y'all thing, some of y'all not so much, especially y'all that's sleeping with the kids. Been a few of them stories in the news lately. Stop that. You know that's wrong. And that goes for y'all male teachers too. Nasty. Kids go to school to learn, not to see your... We're going to leave it at that, okay? I've said enough. Anyway, good people, I thank you for tuning in as always. This has been the I Am Nighthawk Pod Show. Again, if you have any comments that you want to throw up in there, feel free to do so on the pages that I have told you earlier in the comments or on Instagram or whatnot in the comments. We do view those things and we do take your input into account. And if it is something that we need to talk about on a later show, we will do so. Absolutely. I have shown my commercial for Nighthawk Network Radio twice now, because I really want y'all to understand it is back on the air doing its thing. Some of you have been listening. Thank you. We need more listeners. More listeners mean more for me to do with the station. Not to mention it's a station that is set up to be monetized if properly utilized. So we're getting up people listening. I could then make ads for people, put that on there. Those ads hopefully will lead to people coming to your place of business or getting your services and putting money in your pocket, and we could do this thing, and it's all reciprocal, and it'd be a beautiful thing. We'd love for it to go down that way. What you need to do to find my station is to go on my Facebook page. I'm looking at it right now. If you go over here and scroll down, you will see that pinned post. The pinned post has the Live 365.com, Nighthawk Network Radio, free internet radio at Live 365. If you click on that, it will take you straight to my station, where right now it's playing something, but at 10 o'clock or 10:30 this evening, depending on what I get done after I get off of here, it will be playing that show known as Night Modes, Slow Jams, and Love Songs, and all that good stuff for your nighttime listening pleasure by your boy E-Buck himself. And then tomorrow we'll be back on about 8 a.m. with the morning mix. Music from 80s to 90s to 2000s and in between, as we play throughout the day, comedy bits from several of your favorite African American comedians, sometimes people outside of the African American community, because I find many types of people funny. And I know y'all do too. And sometimes during your day, you just need to get your chuckle on in the midst of all of it. So we throw those in periodically. We actually going to have certain days where we play certain music. We get everything programmed properly. And Thursday, we will actually be able to start Throwback Thursday with the hip hop. We're going to do that in honor of our good guy, Pride Hunter, who we miss. We miss him a lot. Rest up, Pride. And of course, always shout out to Helena Hologram. You are in my thoughts right now because we are close to the celebration of the 5-year anniversary of this little pod network we call Nighthawk Network. Started it during the pandemic 5 years ago in April. So we are definitely going to honor that and celebrate that in future episodes. Go to a couple of throwback episodes with me and H2 and some of the other people in my Nighthawk Network crew to kind of revisit that. In the meanwhile, I'm losing my voice here, y'all. So it's time to go get some more tea and do what I need to do and get up out of here. So again, thank y'all for listening, whether you're listening here live on the air or if you're listening to it on the Nighthawk Network Radio, which we will post it sometime later on in the week, or of course on that good old WTA radio. Shout out to Big Meech and them in College Park, United States, Georgia. Appreciate you. All right, y'all. Till next time, be safe, be blessed. Remember, be blessed, don't stress. And when all else fails, put your hands like these and put it to the sky. Let the good Lord deal with the rest, all right? Because in the end, he is the true director of the Department of Government Anything. For real, for real. All right, y'all. We up out of here. Deuces.
The following program is a Nighthawk Network presentation.